Yep, that's how it is. Good afternoon, friends. So a quick one here. I'm busy watching a very important football game of the Villa. And I got a trick to relate to you. So, it's a cowboy thing. Now, of course, I am only a cowboy in my dreams, and you know I can ride a horse and I've got the boots, but I got this idea from Yellowstone. So, a real cowboy, a cowboy, will never have his sleeves rolled up. He'll always have his sleeves rolled down. And the idea is, if it's really, really hot out there, they will pour water onto their cuffs. The idea being that the very thin area between the blood vessels and the skin in the wrists, it will cool the blood as it heads back to the heart. I like that shit. So what I've been doing, because it is 38 degrees here. So what I've been doing in this particular establishment, you have these mini bottles. It literally has mini written on the label, 25 centilitres. But they come out of, they're very, very nearly freezing. They come out encrusted with ice, which is amazing, of course, on a day like this. So I've been holding on the table, I've got kind of like my hand cocked like that, and I have had the very, very cold beer bottle cooling the blood of my right arm, so the blood headed back to the heart from there. And I gotta tell you, it's made a big difference, so I like that. As you can tell, I'm half cut because I've had five little bottles so far, and it's only half time. But I thought I'd relay the trick in case you guys are ever in a country that is touching on 40 degrees. I honestly think this is Guinea-Bissau, this is Bissau. By the time I get to Guinea, it's going to be 40. And so this trick will come in very, very handy. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day. Yep, that's how it goes. You know, I don't actually know what that thing is, but it's cool. I'll have to look it up. Pillboxes are a little less intimidating if they're painted pink. Fair enough. I don't think these guys know what calzone is. Good afternoon, friends. So it's Easter Monday, about 1 o'clock, and I have ventured out. It is, thank you. Good afternoon, friends. So it's Easter Monday, about 1 p.m, and I have ventured out. It is baking. It's about 36 degrees. and it's a dry heat, and also there is a fairly decent maritime wind blowing in my face, a nice breeze to keep things a little bit even. Why have I left my air-conditioned room, might you ask? Well, because I spent a lot of time in there the last couple of days. I ventured out to get some food, to do a little shopping, to do a little bit of recording. So I drank a litre of water, slathered myself in sunscreen, took a deep breath, and here we go. I'm just approaching the Amura fortress, which is this here. I'm going to try and find a way in. It's a late 17th century Portuguese fortress. It was built in 1694 and then rebuilt again in 1753, and is really quite a decent bit of edifice, really. Now, since independence, which was the year of my birth, 1974, it has been and has remained the headquarters for the military in this country, in Guinea-Bissau. And so I'm going to have to be a little bit circumspect, but I'm going to go and ask. And then I'm going to get something to eat. I like the walls. Look at the size of that tree. Oh my God. Seriously, these trees are massive, literally. Just look at the size of them. Military soon. That is the president, the former president of this country. This is Dr. Kumbayala, the third president. They are all accorded military rank and privilege, including being buried on this base. And I'm never going to get this right, but the fourth president, Malal Bakai Sanyap.
Yes.
Okay. And these are all the commandants of this military base since its inception in 74. Still some space left. Ernestina Sila, who was a commandant here, she is a female, which is cool. I'm reliably informed by my friend here that these trees are referred to as the pylons because they overlook this rather modern looking mausoleum. Most of these weapons are literally kind of World War II era. There was a flintlock over there that Jose said was made in Guinea.
Everything there. 44.
The machine gun mock's going to love this. Fascinating. That is a general. Well, he would become a general, and he was the second president. This whole thing deals with all of the military personnel, their training, and the renovation of this particular base. Training by Cubans, jungle training, and visits by people including Vladimir Putin. I'm keeping my mouth firmly shut. And yeah, and these are a collection of combatants in the Liberation Army fighting for independence. Yeah. Mostly very candid photos, as you can see. Anyway, these guys are Guinean. He was the first president of Capo Verde. He was the third president of this country. These are all very high-level guys.
Primeiro presidente da Guiné-Bissau, Luís Cabral.
Ah.
Primeiro.
Number one. Yeah. And much, much later, Guinea-Bissau's contingent of UN peacekeepers. Mortars all the way through to actually quite serious artillery. And serious Russian artillery. An APC, yeah, armored car, and a transportation military truck. This is the personal car of Amilcar Lopez Cabral, who is the first president. This is his personal vehicle, which I can apparently sit in. Hold on. I'd forgotten how small beetles are. Then again, I guess I'm not small, am I? Cool. Well, that was actually a little bit surreal. Evidently, not many people walk up to the gate and ask if they can come in. The guards seemed very surprised, very laid back. No one on the base appeared to be armed, which gave me a little bit of reassurance. Because the last time I was on an African military base, I was in detention. So there's that. But yeah, after some walkie-talkie work, back and forth, guy came out, had a word, went back in, and then this nice older man, as it turns out he was a major on his day off, per se, comes out. He doesn't speak any English. I do not speak Portuguese because I've only been to Portugal twice. I've never been to Brazil. But we managed to work it, And he took me round to, as you saw, the mausoleum for the presidents and commandants, and then to the military museum. It was very interesting. It was very nice of them. And at one point, I was shown the personal car of the first president of this country, which is a white VW Beetle. They opened the door and said, "Get in, sit down, we'll take a photo." I was like, what? Anyway, that was actually really, really fun. It was very nice of them. And they, at the end, said, "Oh, Vinny, you have to sign the book." And I was like, fair enough. Went in, he got this ledger dusty ledger out of a bookcase. Evidently not many people do what I just did. And I saw some Portuguese, a lot of Portuguese, because of course this is a former Portuguese colony, dating back, I think, about 10 over the last 5 years. I flicked back. The last British person who wrote in the book, anyway, was in 2007. So, yeah. A little bit weird. An Egyptian-style mosaic. Right, so having had a very nice walk around town, it is blisteringly hot, but there is a very nice breeze, so it is tolerable. Thankfully, my next couple of months, really, are very mainly coastal. There's the journey from Liberia into Ivory Coast. I'm not sure about that. I might have to go quite deep inland to cross. But apart from that, it's mostly coastal, so there will be breezes to keep my ass a little bit cool at least. Anyway, now, this does run under rule number 3, assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups, because it's Easter Monday. And so the supermarkets that sell alcohol are closed. So I am going to limit myself by default to having a couple of beers and just having tea tonight, which is pretty good for me anyway. I didn't think about it before the weekend, so it does run into assumption, so I just didn't think about it. But it's not that bad. I am sitting in the restaurant Callisto, #Xena. I'm about to have my second pizza in 2 days, because all I have back at the place is a tin of beans, good beans, Branston beans, some tuna, some mayonnaise and some bread, which will happily do me until tomorrow. I'm getting all this done today really because I'm working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and very first thing, very early, crack of dawn on Friday, I'm starting my journey to Conakry in Guinea. That will be, by a country mile, the toughest journey I've yet undertaken. So I'm going to start very early in the morning. So, getting everything done today. Evening, friends. So I'm very nearly back at my guest house. Having gone on a bit of a mission, I finally found a place that sells half decent whiskey. It's way off, half an hour's walk away. I require said bottle because my Friday and Saturday is going to be a bit brutal. I'm going to have to split my journey from here in Bissau to Conakry, the capital of Guinea, into two, because it's just insurmountable. There's no way I can pull it off in a day. So I'm going from here, almost due east, to a town. That part's going to be okay because it's in a coach on a fairly decent road. From there I'm going south to the border and then to Cacheu once I've crossed the border into Guinea. And there I'm going to stay for the night. I found a place. I don't have email or anything, but I'm just going to rock up. I think there'll be space for a single night, going old school, and then carrying on the next day the additional 4 or 5 hours to Conakry. The point being is I am absolutely positively going to have 2 hip flask full of whiskey for that mission. There's no way I can't. So, in absolutely sweltering heat, 39 degrees was the peak today. I drank pretty much a litre of water. I then ventured out, got myself a pizza. There's a nice place called Callisto, so I had an espresso, 2 small beers, a pizza, and then set off to the old market. And by the time I got there, man, I was fairly shattered. And then I walked back. So I've got a few things to do tomorrow, Thursday. I'm working. I'm going to go to that same 5-star hotel and tacitly not admit that I don't stay there. Ask them to do some ask them to print out a few sheets for me. And then before dawn on Thursday I set off. Anyway, friends, so I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried because I have visited 3 different ATMs today and I have not been able to withdraw any cash whatsoever, which apparently is quite a regular occurrence here. They just don't get refilled. And in about 36 hours, less than that actually, 34 hours, I'm leaving on a very long journey which will necessitate cash. And I was hoping to visit an ATM today and an ATM tomorrow to maximize the amount of cash I have on me. Be prepared. But this brings me to the rule number 4 that my girl Bethany had reminded me I had not posted. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. A solution will present itself, as Qui-Gon Jinn once said. There's always a way out. There's always a solution. And while I have absolutely no intention of changing up the decent amount of sterling I have in my ankle wallet, that is a very last resort, but it would solve the problem. So, don't panic. It is annoying though. I'm being forced to break your own rules. That one's a bitch. I'm a little smug, actually. So I'm sitting in the lobby of the Bissau Royal Hotel, the 5-star hotel in the middle of town. Air conditioned, very nice. Walked in. I managed to get cash this morning, which was reassuring. I had to go to 4 different ATMs to do it, but I got it. Then I came in here, partially because their internet is obviously better than the one I have in my accommodation, and so helping to upload the latest videos, but primarily because I had the idea that I walk in, look like a guest. I dressed up a little for the occasion, dressed up in this case being wearing clean clothes and tucking my shirt in, and asked Ellen, the very nice lady at the desk, if she could print out, if I could WhatsApp to the hotel some documents, if she could print them out for me. Boom. That is full colour, crystal clear copies of my passport, my yellow fever certificate, and my confirmation for my Guinea and my Sierra Leone visas, 2 copies of each. Yeah, all of my ducks are firmly in a row. A little bit smug.
Rien du tout.